I'm hungry, I'm tired, and I have to be at a waxing appointment in an hour. I think it's a great time to film a little makeup video for y'all. So as you can see here, this look is quite toned down for what I typically do, especially if you watch the last Christmas makeup tutorial that I did. It's a lot more basic, a lot less steps. This is using pretty much mostly like affordable products, and this look doesn't take a whole lot of time. So let's just jump straight into the video. Alright, so as you just saw, today's look is going to be overall pretty simple. Well, at least for me. Especially if you saw, like I said, the last Christmas makeup tutorial that I did. It was a little crazy. I also think that it's kind of funny that I'm doing two Christmas looks and I only did one Halloween look, but like, shouldn't Halloween be like the biggest time for like a YouTuber that does like makeup tutorials? I'm unconventional. So let's just go ahead and jump straight into it. First off, like, I'm not gonna do brows on camera because I feel like that's boring and like, who cares? But I do want to discuss what I used, and I used this AOA Studio Sculpting Brow Pencil. This is in the shade Dark Brown. I also used this AOA Studio Wonder Brow. This is in the shade Medium Brown. I've really been enjoying the brow pencil. The brow pomade is not so great. I don't think I would necessarily recommend it, although you can't go wrong. Both items are $1, but I have really been enjoying the brow pencil, so that is very affordable, and we're just gonna go ahead and jump straight into eyes. And for eyes, I'm gonna be using eyeshadows from the Wet n Wild Flights of Fancy Summer Collection. So I feel like the most affordable palette that I have is truly my Morphe 35B, which is like the really colorful palette, but that doesn't really have any like transition shades or more like neutral shades, which I'm gonna need for this look. So, she broke. This is like the only affordable like eyeshadow palettes that I have that have like more neutral shades in it that are still like not expired, and obviously are super affordable because it's Wet n Wild, so we're gonna be dipping into some of that. I'm also gonna be showing you a new technique that I've been doing recently that I really like. So the first palette that I'm gonna be dipping into is the Asta La Costa Baby, and I'm gonna be taking this transition shade right up here on my Morphe E27. I'm gonna be dipping into a lot of it because what I'm going to be doing is I'm just gonna be stamping the shades on instead of like blending shades out in circular motions. I just feel like doing it this way, it saves like a lot of time because you're able to get like the pigmentation that you want a lot quicker, and if you just like tap your shadows out to blend them, it still looks like really cute, you know? So I just picked up a little more and I'm just stamping with light tapping motions. And then I'm kind of like tapping the shadow out a little bit more like past the brow. Like once I don't really have like a lot of product on the brush or anything like that, just so that everything looks nice and blended. And then when I want to kind of like blend out the edges, I'm just gonna fluff my brush around in like light circular motions. I'm going to be taking this e.l.f. Baked Eyeshadow Palette and hi, don't come for me. On my Morphe R39, I'm going to be taking this like sparkly deep gray shade. I'm just going to be focusing this on like the outer V, and I'm going to be stamping it like all along inside the crease. I haven't really blended it out yet because that's what I'm going to do now, and I'm going to be taking this Stop Roughing My Feathers. This is more of like a deeper transition shade, so I'm just going to be picking this up on my Morphe M433. And I'm just going to rub that 1/2 like on the gray shadow and then 1/2 like on the earlier transition shade that we used to deepen up this look and also blend out the gray shade. I'm just using like really light back and forth motions. We always have to go back in and touch up like all the shades that we use, so I'm dipping back in first to the crease shade. I'm just again stamping that like back in the crease to reinforce that color. Dipping back into a little more of this shade from Stop Ruffling My Feathers, and again just gonna lightly graze it. And then we're gonna dip back into our first shade again with the E27. So the next thing that I'm gonna do is I'm gonna rub my finger in this green shade right here from the Hasta La Costa Baby, and I'm just going to stamp it all over the lid. Taking this little Wet n Wild metallic liquid eyeshadow, this is in the shade Lara's Necklace. That is pretty much one eye all complete, so I'm just gonna go ahead and get off camera, do the other eye, and then we're gonna come back and move on to the face. Okay, so my hair was annoying me, so I snatched it up, and I feel like this is gonna be like a makeup quickness challenge now because I have 18 minutes before I have to leave, and I would prefer not to look just like this. I will say about the Wet n Wild liquid shadows that they're not the best. I mean, overall they're pretty like pigmented. You can see them, they're pretty. They are not very long wearing though. They do get very crumbly, but I would say that if you're planning on wearing it for like a couple or a few hours, maybe like 4 or 5, it'll still look cute. Some of it might crumble just a little bit, so you might need to take like a little powder brush with you and just, but other than that, like it does look really pretty. So the next product that I'm gonna go in with is I'm gonna be taking my Anastasia Beverly Hills foundation stick. This is in the shade Natural. Obviously, this is not a super affordable like foundation. I'm sure a lot of you are kind of shocked that I am not using my Wet n Wild foundation. So although this foundation cannot be classified necessarily as like affordable because it is like a $20 stick foundation, I do think it is affordable in the sense that you really don't need like a powder to set this foundation because it does stay like pretty matte. It's not really like that same consistency as like a liquid foundation, so it's not really going to like move as much. I don't know, it's just like kind of different, so you don't really need to set it. So it is affordable in the sense that you don't need a powder to go with it. I maybe just need a little bit more right there and right there. And since I'm not concealing today, I'm gonna focus a little bit more of this underneath the eyes, but I'm not getting it like right underneath the lash line. So I'm kind of leaving like a little space right here because I don't really want it to get like crazy or anything like that, but I still kind of want it to cover that discoloration that I have underneath my eyes. So although I'm not going to be doing any cream contouring, I am going to be doing a little bit of bronzing. So I'm going to be taking my Butter Bronzer from Physicians Formula. This is in Sunkissed Bronzer, and I'm just taking my Morphe B28 and I'm just dipping into some of that bronzer, starting this off close to the ear, and I'm kind of like really like shoving the brush into my face, like tapping it forward, and I'm making sure that the brush really hugs like my cheekbone right there. I'm gonna take a little bit of whatever's left on the brush and I'm gonna slide that up on the side of my hairline, taking some of that, and I'm first like tapping it on the forehead, and then I'm just blending that out a little bit more. Gonna take some of that and rub it along my jawline, along my double chin on a smaller fan brush, and I'm just brushing that along the bridge of my nose. Taking my Milani brush in Romantic Rose. These are honestly really good blushes. They're also very affordable. Dabbing that on the apples of the cheek. Yes, you see that. Run some of that along the bridge of my nose and taking whatever's left and kind of putting it all over the forehead. I don't know, maybe along the jawline, just wherever. I'm gonna be taking this Wet n Wild highlighter. This is in the shade Golden Flower Crown, and I'm just gonna be taking my Morphe R36 and just brushing that right along the high points of the cheekbone. I'm going to be taking some of that same highlighter shade on my pinky, and I'm just going to be running that along the bridge of the nose, and any edges that I feel like need to be blended out, I'm just going to be taking a clean finger and kind of dabbing it along the edges of that. Put a little bit right on the Cupid's bow, a little bit on the chin, a little bit like right above the brow. So I'm going to take this little Morphe pencil brush and I'm going to dip back into that dark gray shade that we were using earlier. And I'm just going to focus this right on that lower lash line. And I'm making sure to connect the bottom up with the top part of the eyeshadow look. Taking that same palette on this little Morphe brush, I'm going to dip into the Brow Bone highlighter shade, and I'm just going to pop that right underneath my brow, on my brow bone, obviously. And taking this more pointy Morphe brush, I'm going to dip into that same Brow Bone highlighter shade, and I'm just going to pop that right on the inner corner. Next, I'm just going to be moving on to lips, and I'm just going to be taking this NYX lipstick. This is just a matte lipstick. This is in the shade Perfect Red. I'm basically just gonna get off camera really quick and apply some Wet n Wild Lash Renegade. This definitely goes to show that you can look like a Christmas snack for a small price. So I hope you liked the look and I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, please go ahead and that like button and that subscribe button and that bell. And I hope all of you have a very Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye.